The Boston Bruins have given us multiple updates from everything, including the morning skate lines before tomorrow's game, an update on Hampus Lindholm and his injury status, as well as a brand new, pretty exciting update for the Boston Bruins heading into next season in a very special game. We're going to be talking about all of these updates here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything, and I will be giving you updates with everything regarding Don Sweeney's job applications as we progress further in the season and hopefully see him out as GM. But without any further ado, let's get into our first topic here of many in this video, which is the practice lines from this morning's skates ahead of tomorrow's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, we do have, unfortunately, a very similar update to what we've had with this before, and that the lines are the exact same. After that brutal loss that we have just suffered, the lines have not been changed by the Boston Bruins heading into Tampa. As you see from Scott McLaughlin, the same lineup for the Bruins at Wednesday's practice before they head on the road to Tampa. Nikita Zadorov, Pastrnak, Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle, Trent Frederic, Brazeau, the best line of last game. Beecher, Kessler, Kepke, McLaughlin as the 13th forward. Witherspoon and McAvoy, Zadorov and Carlo, Lowry and Peak. Australia is the 7th defenseman, and Swayman and Korpisalo. Of course, the goalies can switch up here or there, but keeping the same lineup is really not something ideal for the Boston Bruins. And I didn't pull up in yesterday's video the hockey stat card from that just because it wasn't out when it was I released a video, and you saw the little rant there as well. I didn't need any more fuel to the fire to get some stuff going about the Boston Bruins, but there was really nobody in that game that had really any success, that played good. The third line, you could say, was the best. Still not a great line, a great game from them, but they were the better of the ones in that game. And the fact we're seeing this, really just goes to show that Joe Sacco, as I've mentioned in the last video, there's nothing he can do about this. He's not the one making roster moves. Obviously, I do think right now, Oliver Wahlstrom, you have to keep in the lineup over Mark McLaughlin, as that line was the best. You're not going to change anything else on the forwards. Witherspoon and McAvoy, we've seen Australia play quite a bit as of late, and you got to give him an even amount of time, really, just to keep him in and out when you're still missing Hampus Lindholm. We do have an injury update in just a moment, so stick around for that. And keeping everything there, Swayman as well, we have to assume will be starting next game. Swayman played great, the third line played great, and other than that, there are no changes that you can make to this lineup that are not available right now. The moves that were going to be made and need to be made to the Boston Bruins lineup are currently in the AHL, sitting there and not moving up into the NHL as of right now. Now, I've seen a report saying that the Bruins are on the mother's trip right now, and that's why they're kind of holding this lineup as it is, which is a valid reason, I guess, although, we do want to see some moves made by the Boston Bruins. I do fully understand the whole situation there, though, but it seems to be that from what a lot of people are thinking, they're going to be waiting until after the mother's trip before they make any roster moves. I'm not sure the end date of that, but let's just hope it's not too long, because we do need to see some fresh faces in some Boston Bruins jerseys, that is. And the end of practice today, as you see from Connor Ryan here, the Bruins close up practice with a group hug. It just goes to show, once again, that this team is still very tight-knit. They are all struggling in this lineup. I don't want to say individually, but, they're a team. They're a team that has been struggling. They're trying to find their success. They've been, a lot of these guys have been playing with each other for years, and they know that right now, not the most ideal time, but they're still working on it. They're still trying to get to the spot they want to be, and there's not much they can do to build a lineup, call up, and send down people. So they're playing their best that they can on the ice, and although it may not be working, we can't blame it on them. We have to put a lot of this on still the upper management of this team. But let's head into the second topic here of the video, which is a Hampus Lindholm injury update. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just saying about this roster update and about the moves that need to be made. There's been a lot of rumors about trades regarding Charlie Coyle, Brandon Carlo, Trent Frederic. Those are really the three names at this point in the season that have been really on the trade block for the Boston Bruins. We've seen Brad Marchand there, but I really don't think that's a realistic opportunity or realistic option at this point. You're not trading Brad Marchand. The only way is if he wants out, and it doesn't seem like he wants out at all. He's still being an incredible leader for this team, but looking at what we're seeing right now and what we're looking on the Hampus Lindholm injury update side of things, Adam Pellerin put this on Twitter. This comes from yesterday, so I did miss this yesterday's video, but it's a good update to bring out here today, kind of especially after what we had saw last night. Hampus Lindholm was on the ice before Bruins morning skate yesterday. He's been out since mid-November with a lower body injury, and I'm sure most of you, and if not all of you, know and have really noticed the absence for him on the defensive side of things, and especially Brandon Carlo has. Normally, we see Hampus Lindholm paired up with Brandon Carlo. That has really been the line that we saw the success come from Brandon Carlo, the success come from Hampus Lindholm, and 17 games played. 7 points for Hampus Lindholm. I don't know the exact stats, he would be probably second or third right now if this pace did continue this season in points for the Bruins, if this obviously continued as he was staying healthy. But Brandon Carlo has certainly missed out his line mate. We've seen that, and every game just about. And the way that those two had the chemistry last season and this season, you don't really find the comfortability with other players that are not your usual line mates. And we saw that with Brandon Carlo for majority of the season. And looking at the defense, of course, you're playing with Zadorov, you're playing with Wotherspoon, you're playing with Lowry, you're playing with Australia. Just about every single game, he has a different line mate. And it's not easy as a defenseman who has had, one or two line mates for the past 2 seasons. Try and come in this lineup and play with a different guy every game. And especially when you have a guy like Nikita Zadorov, who just came over to this team this offseason. You don't have much chemistry with him anyways, but the fact that we are currently seeing Hampus Lindholm back on the ice, although there still is no timeline to his return, this is better than not hearing anything. We had nothing for, about 2 months, apart from still being week to week, and then 2 months later, week to week again, so we didn't really have much information, but the fact that he's on the ice, wasn't practicing with the team necessarily, but the fact that he's on the ice, shooting around, moving the puck around, skating, not gingerly, is at least the best update that we could have at the time, and at least for now, one thing that we're very excited to see, and hopefully he does come back soon for the Bruins' sake, for Brandon Carlo's sake, and you never know. He may have a different line mate by the time he does return if Carlo's traded, but that's a conversation for a different day. But let's head into our final topic here of the video, which is the Bruins are heading outdoors once again. And this comes from an update from, only a few minutes ago, actually, not too long before recording this. The Bruins are going to be playing next year, 2026's Winter Classic against the Tampa Bay Lightning. This does come from the Boston Bruins themselves, and Florida in February sounds just fine. The Bruins will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 2026 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Raymond James Stadium, the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Now, this would be a much better game if this was in Boston, and I know a lot of you guys think about this as well. And the Winter Classic doesn't always feel like the way it is when it's not snowing outside, and I know that this may be a bit of a thing. I know the NHL are trying to expand their, their viewership outside of the normal places, but even if you have Tampa in the game, you need to have it in snow. You need to have it somewhere where it's cold. You need to see everybody bundled up. You need to have your beers frozen at the game. There's nothing that beats that in the Winter Classic. And although the Bruins are in it, I'm very happy, and I hope some of you guys do get the opportunity to go see it. That'll be absolutely incredible, especially in Tampa in February. Could be a bit of a nice weather, maybe a few shorts. I don't know. I've never been to Florida in the late part of the winter, but it is a very exciting time to see the Bruins, and hopefully we don't have this type of season going into that game, but you never know. And the fact that we're seeing the Bruins in another outside game, this time in Tampa, is always exciting for the Bruins fans, and us being able to see the game and watch this game. It just feels like old times, and that's what we're definitely wanting to feel right now. But a few updates here today the Boston Bruins had given us. Let me know what you think about the lines. I think that's the big thing here that not a lot of people would agree with in this video. Let me know what you think about that, as well as what time do you think Hampus Lindholm will return. As I mentioned, no timetable yet for this return, but he is at least skating, which is probably the best update that we've had for him in, months. And that's at least the bottom line that we can be excited about in this video, as well as, I guess, the Winter Classic. But let me know what you think about all of this news today. The Bruins were not shy with the news, and I do apologize for quite the ramble here in this video. But that's all I got. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. And once again, let me know what you think about all the news here in the comments below. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.